Hang on, let me just slick my hair back real quick. Hi, I'm Tough Guy Tattoo Expert, man, and I'm making video teaching you some expert advice tips on getting your first tattoo. Trust me, because look, I'm a professional man and I know what I'm talking about, not just some emo kid who doesn't know Let me go smoke a cigarette because I'm tough. Tough Guy Tattoo. Oh wait, you're not supposed to drink before you get a tattoo. But if it's your first time, you may not have known that. Okay, I can't do this anymore. What am I doing? Oh, I can't pretend anymore, you guys. What's up? I'm Hair Jordan, and I can't fake it anymore. I actually don't know anything. But I do know a thing or two about tattoos, because I have a couple. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, or don't. I don't care. But I do make music, so you can check that out if you want. All my songs are on Spotify now, and iTunes and all that stuff, link in the description up here. Or you can get like posters and shirts and merch and all that stuff. But yeah, I just had a new album come out like 2 months ago, I think. So my first full-length album ever. What do you do when you don't know what tattoo to get? Today, that's what we're gonna talk about. I get asked this question a lot. What should I get for my first tattoo? Or how do I choose my first tattoo? And that's a really good question. It's legit, because your first tattoo is really special. It's a big deal. For people who have a lot of tattoos, their first one may not seem special. A lot of people look back and they're like, oh, it's just a dumb thing I did. But it's really a big deal when you're first getting your tattoo. So here are some things that I would, I guess, tell you, advice if you were asking me, which a lot of you have asked, if you're thinking about getting your first tattoo. The first piece of advice I would say, if you're gonna get a first tattoo, is make sure that it's something that you actually want, which sounds really dumb, but sometimes simple advice is the best. Make sure you want it. And if you want it, then get it. Because not everybody's gonna think it's a good idea. A lot of the stuff that I do, a lot of my tattoos, other people have told me not to do. They think it's a bad idea, and I am happy that I got a lot of the tattoos that I have. Sure, I have some regrets, but I love a lot of the tattoos that I have that a lot of people told me not to get. So make sure that you want it and realize other people are probably gonna tell you it's a bad idea. Here's the thing, like your parents are probably not gonna approve of it unless they have tattoos and they're like accepting of that. But most parents are not okay with you getting tattoos, right? Some friends are not gonna be okay or supportive. You know, they're just gonna be scared. People are scared of the unknown. They're scared of big changes, and getting something permanently tattooed onto your skin forever, that's a big change. So a lot of people are not gonna be super supportive. They're gonna like warn you, be like, be careful, be cautious. You sure you really want this? They're gonna question the heck out of you. And then you're gonna be like, well, I don't know if I really do or not. Make sure that you want it. Make it up in your own mind that you want this or you don't want this. Now, if you have a friend who you know is going to be honest with you and supportive, that's great. Run your idea by that friend, if you have one. Someone who will tell you, like, hey, that's a good idea. Or if it's actually a bad idea, be like, that's a bad idea. Not bad because they don't want you to get a tattoo at all, but bad because they're like, that's an actually bad idea. Do you have any other ideas that would be better? Run it by somebody like that. And if you don't know anybody like that, then do your own research. Just like maybe Google somebody else who has a similar tattoo or similar placement, see how it turned out. You may look at somebody else who has something similar and be like, oh, that was a disaster. Another thing is you can draw it on yourself with a marker. Just get a pen or a Sharpie, and whatever you're thinking about getting, draw it on your own skin. And you don't have to be a best artist. I do that a lot. I draw on actually pretty much all my tattoos. I draw on myself before I actually get them. Then you can kind of have a general idea of what it's gonna look like having a blob of ink like right here or wherever you're gonna get it, you know? And then you could be like, oh, that's cool, I like it, or I don't like it. Think of overall aesthetic. Don't get something too big, don't get something too small, and don't get something that's like, oh man, it's gonna look cool when I have all this other stuff. Get something that's gonna look cool now, even if it's the only tattoo you ever get. But also keep in mind that you may get more tattoos later on, and it's not gonna mess everything up. In the future, if you want a big portrait here, don't get something little and random here right now. Pick a different spot that's like aesthetically pleasing and looks good. Draw it on yourself with a Sharpie, stand there and look in the mirror and be like, oh yeah, like overall, it's good. You know, it looks good to have something there. Kind of like wearing a nice accessory or something, except it's just on your skin forever. Think of it that way. Your tattoo doesn't have to be super meaningful. It's okay if it is though. It can be just something dumb. But here's a tip. If you want to get something super meaningful in memory of, say, your grandma or a friend or anything like that, a picture can represent them. And it may turn out better. You can get somebody's name or a date tattooed, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But it could have a deeper meaning if, and this is just an if, it's just an idea, you don't have to do this at all, but let's say you want to get a tattoo in memory of your grandfather or something like that. Like let's say your grandpa was really into cars and used to take you for a ride in his car, and that was a good memory you had. You could get a tattoo of that car, you know, if it was like a whatever, a classic, something, I don't know. Get that car tattooed. And that's something that's unique for one, which is good, because not everybody gets car tattoos. And then people be like, oh, what's that car? And then it would be more specific, like, oh yeah, my grandpa used to take me for a ride in his 1967 Nova, whatever the heck it was. And so that's why I got a tattoo of the 1967 Nova. Just an idea. You don't have to do that, but I know some people, they want to remember somebody, but they don't want to have just words all over their body. You know, they want pictures because it's art. Song lyrics. You can get song lyrics tattooed on you if you want, if it's really meaningful. That's okay. I see that sometimes. What makes them better is if there's a picture that goes with the song lyrics, right? Just think of that. You could put a picture with the words if you want to get a word or a couple words, and that would look cool because pictures are cool. Another tip I have is don't steal, which is more of a rule or a code of ethics than a tip. But yeah, stealing other people's tattoos is not a good thing. I even would caution against stealing idea or borrowing or whatever ideas from Pinterest or other. If it's, you know, sometimes there's popular tattoos that a lot of people get from Pinterest or something like that. I would caution against getting something trendy. Usually those are kind of, I don't know how to explain. It's just not really a good idea to get something that's like, oh, cool, everyone's getting this right now on Pinterest, so I'm gonna get it too. If you're really into that, then I guess do what you want. Like I said earlier, if it's a good idea to you, then it's a good idea to you. And, you know, it doesn't matter what anybody else says, but personally, I think it's a bad idea to get trendy tattoos that everybody else is getting. You can get something from your childhood. So if you, for example, had a favorite movie or a favorite book when you were a kid, maybe Aladdin, get an Aladdin tattoo if you want. You don't have to. I know somebody who has a full sleeve of all Dr. Seuss, and it looks sick. It's awesome. The whole sleeve is Dr. Seuss themed, which is really cool. It's a cool idea. Or Pokemon. Sometimes Pokemon tattoos turn out really good. You know, it could be anything. Like I said, it doesn't have to be super deeply meaningful. When you're going into a shop to get your first tattoo, do a little bit of research ahead of time. Pick a shop wisely. Look at their reviews online. Each artist will probably have a portfolio of their work online. You can look through and be like, okay, I like this artist's style better than anybody else or whatever, because each artist will have their own style and you'll notice that. So if you're like, well, it's the cheapest one around, or I know this guy but I don't really want it that style, I want it this style, then probably don't go to him. You should probably go to somebody who does it the style you want. And if you don't care, or if you don't even notice the difference, well then okay. Especially if it's just something small, it's not gonna be a big deal. But if you're like particular, like I want it to be a certain style, like I want an old school style tattoo, or I want a new whatever, obviously go to an artist who does that a lot. But don't be afraid to ask questions when you go there. If you're watching this video, obviously you probably have a good idea of the basics and you're educating yourself right now, and that's good. But don't be afraid to ask questions if you have them. Sometimes tattoo artists can come off as kind of mean or rude, which some of them are, and it's uncalled for. I've experienced some of that, but most of the time that's not true. I mean, that's just anywhere you go, there's gonna be rude people, and most of them are polite, most of them are nice, and most of them will be happy to answer any questions that you have. So don't be afraid of that. And don't be afraid of them either. Definitely ask some questions, and definitely communicate with your artists. They usually will have a book in there, a portfolio of their work and things they've done, or just like artwork that they could do, like that they've already drawn up, that you can pick from. And that's totally okay to go in and pick one of those things. You know, but it's not their job to pick your tattoo. So keep that in mind. But communicate with them. If they draw something up for you and you don't like it, say you don't like it. Or if they place it on your skin and they're like, is that okay? And you don't like it, say, no, can we move it over a little or whatever? Please communicate that, because it's gonna be on your skin the rest of your life. And they should be okay with being like, sure, we'll move it over, or sure, we'll redraw it up, or whatever. I mean, you're paying them and it's going on your skin, so you need to make sure you're happy with it. Now, be polite and be respectful, of course, and don't be a pain in the ass, but at the end of the day, you're going home with a tattoo on your skin. It's gonna be there forever. So, but they're also putting the artwork on your body, so there has to be like a level of mutual respect between you and the artist, and so just keep that in mind. And another thing before you go in to get your first tattoo is eat before you get it. That's something that not everybody knows, but you should eat before you get a tattoo. Some people don't eat. They think, oh, I might get nauseous, and then they get their tattoo, and then they get nauseous anyway. You're getting nauseous because you didn't eat. You need to have food in your system when you're getting a tattoo. It's trauma to your body, to your skin, and you shouldn't do it on an empty stomach when you're lacking food and nutrition. You should definitely eat something. I like to eat a big meal before I get a tattoo. It just kind of helps me be able to helps my body to be strong and be ready to handle it. You want to be prepared. You don't want to go in on an empty stomach. You don't want to go in drinking. Do not drink before you get a tattoo. It'll make you bleed more. Some people do it. It's not the end of the world, but it's better if you don't drink. I've done it before. Usually if I'm tattooing myself, I'll drink a little. It's just best if you don't. You'll bleed less. It'll turn out better overall, probably. So yeah, those are some tips for getting your first tattoo. Hopefully you found this helpful. Leave a comment. Let me know if you're thinking of getting a tattoo, if you have any, or what your first tattoo experience was like, or let me know if you have any other tips for people who are trying to think of their first tattoo idea and they need some help, leave a comment and we could maybe help each other out, help each other pick cool ideas. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. This is Hair Jordan, and I will talk to you guys Saturday. No, today's Saturday. I will talk to you guys Wednesday. Bye.